you should launch your own show at Netflix, like called Amruta in Paris, enjoying the fancy life with 3 degrees in the hand. It might sound funny and stupid, but I chose Australia because of its weather.
The
It
only
makes up.
point is that I don't know what to say. I mean, I'll end up laughing. I know. I'll end up just laughing and it'll be like ha 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 ha, ha and all the full vlogs and it's going to be funny in that way.
Just randomly texting someone and getting them on a coffee is a big deal because they are pretty much a big people. They were like head of marketing or head of operations of a certain organizations, and most of the people are not ready to chat with you or even reply with you. But surprisingly, 2 out of 100 people did.
I would honestly say that I thought that, I will take suggestions from you because you were so
Oh, oh my God. And applying to 2000 jobs and getting rejected by all changes you. What my suggestion would be is to build a consistency map. So
Hmm.
just plan yourself like that, like you need to do one podcast every week. Anyhow, with anyone, one podcast every week for the whole year. You don't find mentors find you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Curry Meets Croissant. This is the podcast where we dive deep into the real expectations of students and professionals navigating life abroad. And this is episode number 9. We have actually come a long way. But I know, I always say that today's episode is special. Today's episode is extra special, and this, like, I know I always mention that every episode is special to me. Of course, it is. But today's episode is a little extra special because I have one of my closest friends joining me, whom I've known since 2019, back from our day studying sports management together in India. We have come a long way since then. After our bachelor's, he took the leap into freelancing for a couple of years, gaining hands-on experience before making a bold move to Melbourne, Australia. Now he's studying at Deakin University and has had quite a journey from adapting to new education system to working as a chef during his first years to support himself. His story is one of resilience, hustle, and learning the importance of building a strong network in a country. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about how to find mentors when you move abroad, the power of networking, and how it can open unexpected doors, and also how to balance work, studies, and life in a new country, and also in the end, tips for students on putting themselves out there and making meaningful connections. So, whether you're planning to study abroad or already are living in a foreign country or just curious about how connections can shape your career, this episode is for you. So, grab yourself a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get started today. Hi, Hitin. Good morning from my side, and I'm sure it's good evening from yours. And yeah, so how are you doing today? And welcome to Curry Meets Croissant.
I I am Rutna. It's 8 p.m. in here, and it's great to catch you.
Yeah, how was your whole day then today?
Today is Sunday, so it's probably resting, but I was just working with a company, and like there's some work, so I was just handling some Canva stuff, and that's all.
I've seen you work a lot harder than the times we used to spend in bachelors, and now seeing you especially evolved and grow so much like makes my eyes shine. I would say it that way.
Definitely, like we both of us have grown so far, like differently, but probably we are still connected, so that's the best thing.
I mean, we
Yeah.
we were good friends. I'm sure, like even when we had hard times during our bachelors, we used to reach out to each other. We had so many night outs together. We did our economic studies together with one of your common friends. But yeah, I mean, you have actually come a long way. But so just tell us about the journey. Like, why did you choose Australia in general, and why on Deakin University? Like, I'm sure there are other universities also all over the country that you could have gone with, but why that particular country?
Uh, it might sound funny and stupid, but I chose Australia because of its weather. So I can't handle the cold. Like I can't see snow. I hate snow. I do not like the gloomy weather
Hmm.
like other countries like Canada or some other UK countries. So I heard that Australia has pretty similar temperature than India,
Hmm.
and it's mostly sunny or like it's comparatively warm.
Hmm.
So that's the main reason I chose. And secondly, like Australia is a good sporting country, and like they're good in sports. So that's why I chose. And I researched about it, and few of my seniors like studied from Deakin University, and I had really good reviews. I asked people on LinkedIn as well, and they were pretty nice. Like they gave a good review to me, so that's good.
So, what are you currently pursuing? Like, even I keep on forgetting what were you doing in Deakin?
So I did my bachelor's with you, like sports
Yes.
management, but I'm pursuing my master's in sports management at Deakin University. It's not an MBA, but it's a master's. It's a bit
Okay.
different. But master's of business, so pretty much the same.
Business studies. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
doing an MBA from here, but I'm getting 2 degrees, which is surprisingly good.
2 degrees.
Yes. So our university has collaboration with two, three educational institutes, and we are having an online classes with 3 branches. So I'm in Paris branch, which is the main branch. We have a branch in Madrid and also in London. So they are tied up with some common educational institutes in their spaces, and
Yeah.
we have online classes, and we also have study trips. And yeah, so with the study trips and also with the online classes, we are getting 1 degree, and separately when we have physical classes and physical examination and everything, so we are getting another degree. So we have two degrees.
You should launch your own show at Netflix, like called Amruta in Paris. Enjoying the fancy life with 3 degrees in the hand and just
Oh, three
that.
bachelors, yes.
Three.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm doing vlogs after a lot of people told me to do vlogs. I'm trying my best, so let's see.
So nice. Actually, consider like doing voiceovers as well. I've watched your vlogs as well. So consider doing like voiceovers with the vlogs.
Yeah. The
It
only
makes up.
point is that I don't know what to say. I mean, I'll end up laughing. I know. I'll end up just laughing, and it'll be like ha 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 ha, ha, and all the full vlogs, and it's going to be funny in that way. But I'm
So,
definitely gonna try. Maybe I'll make you do one voiceover, I'll make somebody else do a voiceover. Just speak
all right.
random, whatever
Should
you.
be funny.
But yes, so you have worked as freelancer for a couple of years before you headed to Australia. What kind of work were you doing, and how that improved into your current situation?
Uh, I worked with different sporting organization and worked with different leagues like Indian Premier League and Khelo India Youth Games and most of the like government games, national games, etc., etc. Worked with different vendors and like from the client side, from the vendor side. Worked here and there. Worked in mostly in operations, not in the admin stuff.
Mm.
So the work there was amazing, although it was hectic, not much of a sleep, but learned a lot of things, especially problem solving and mostly negotiating stuff because I like negotiating. So earlier in my days, I used to work with Gujarat Titans,
Mm.
and probably I was working in the branding section. So my job was to like brand the whole Narendra Modi Stadium, the V-shaped clothing things and everything. I like my responsibility was hectic. So we needed to like negotiate it like with some local vendors and like for our operation stuff and for like handling all the hanging on the clothes in the Narendra Modi Stadium. So the height of the Narendra Modi Stadium is 260 feet. So we need some people to hang that 50 kg cloth of player branding there. So I negotiated with some local vendors, got a here and there good experience from there.
That's good to hear. I'm sure like people in India, they are very keen to work only in the sports of cricket and not any other thing. And then you got a chance for it. I think that doesn't really apply when you move like to another country, I think they only look for experiences in their sections, in their surroundings and everything. So how did you go further with that? Because I'm sure, like, you did apply for a lot of jobs and you got a lot of rejections for sure. So how
Hmm.
did you manage that?
When I moved to Australia, I had a bit of experience in sports industry, probably 2 or 3 years, but they didn't consider my experience because they didn't know the company I was working for. Obviously, like both have like different countries and different companies as well. So they were asking like, if you have any local experience, please let us know. And I said, oh, I don't have any experience, and that's a no-no for any company you apply for. So I got a like I went for some networking events at Deakin University, and they told us that like start with volunteering and get something, at least something on your CV from the sports industry, and I think that would be the great path. So I followed the advice. I acted upon it. I started volunteering with Big Bash League. It was at the time of summer, so I started with the volunteering with Big Bash League. It was not much of a work, but I got something on my CV. I networked a lot at the start. I got an advice from someone that like your LinkedIn should be optimized, and like you need to connect a lot of people through LinkedIn and through networking events as well. So I did that. I used to go out on networking even 3 times or 2 times a week, and I used to invite people over coffee and have a chat with them. It was such out of a comfort zone for me because just randomly texting someone and getting them on a coffee is a big deal because they are pretty much a big people. They were like head of marketing or head of operations of a certain organizations, and most of the people are not ready to chat with you or even reply with you. But surprisingly, 2 out of 100 people did.
So yeah, you also had a very tough time in the beginning, but you made your way through it. I'm like, yeah, there's so much to learn from you. I would honestly say that I never thought that, I will take suggestions from you because you were so
Oh, oh my God.
I will explain why. Because
Yeah.
you were complete opposite of what you are right now. When I've actually met you, you were like this bag full of excitement. Like if I have to tell you one character, which is Ranveer Singh, you were just
Uh,
exactly like that, like full of energy, full of excitement, full of joy, full of happiness. Like you had 0.0001% of lagging that used to happen inside you, I would say. You're like always energetic. Like even if I had to call you at 5 in the morning, like let's go here, you'll be like, yeah, let's go. 30 minutes I'm meeting you. And now you're like completely opposite. You're like more calm, more poised, more, serious about life. And that really shocks me. And even I think we all had the transition in life. I yet to have a lot more. I yet to have to learn a lot. And yeah, I'm really happy that seeing you listen to people is something, a milestone that you have achieved from my angle.
I was not much of a listener, and now like it all happened because of Australia, probably because it changed me. Because like traveling and like residing in a different country changes you because like you're not in your comfort zone at all.
True.
Every single day you're not in your comfort zone because in India you're not accustomed to wash your own utensils and wash your own clothes and make your own food. Probably that's the basic thing to do in life, but we don't do it in India because we have the luxury of household help.
Mhm.
Now, doing everything by yourself and then working and then earning by yourself and then building your career at the same time, like it changed you, like it changes you every single time. And
Yeah.
applying to 2000 jobs and getting rejected by all changes you.
But yeah, I think that I really have to put myself out there. And then even I have to take, like I said, tips and tricks from you to do the investment and then get to know somebody from the industry. At least one or two people. I'm sure that is gonna really help me boost my CV in a country like France.
Definitely, like it should work. One of the wrong things that people do here is focus more on casual work, what they're doing, and just start, like they put a lot of efforts on short-term money instead of a long-term investment. So for me, networking is a long-term investment and earning in a casual job is a short-term money. So I always prefer to have a long-term investment.
No,
But
that's
I,
actually
I
what.
didn't used to work more hours.
Mhm.
I just worked enough to pay my rent off and enough to get me food. That's all.
No, I really think that I am deteriorating in that aspect because when I initially came, I was like, okay, maybe I don't have to start working immediately. Maybe I can take some time off because I just finished my 6 months working with a company in India, and then
Mhm.
after a month, I just shifted to a different country. So I was
Yeah.
also not in that space that for 2.5 years, nearly 3 years, I was working. So I was like, I need a break, and then
Yeah.
the break is elongating so much that I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, I don't need a break anymore. 2 months was enough for me. And then
Yeah.
after that, our classes started getting intense and we had so many assignments. We had a trip also in the month of December, and since January it clicked my head that I really have to get myself out there. And then I started with the podcast as a hobbyist to get to know people, and then it became sort of my passion right now. Like, I enjoy doing my podcast even though if I'm not generating any revenue out of it. I'm sure maybe someday I will, but now it is March, and again I have another study trip, and I don't have so much time also in between to put myself out there in the market. But I know it's never too late also to do that, but I really have to set up a plan for myself, like how I have to go forward with it. But yeah, it's like a loop. Once you get into it, you cannot get out of it. So it's a good loop, I would say.
What my suggestion would be is to build a consistency map. So
Hmm.
just plan yourself like that, like you need to do one podcast every week. Anyhow, with anyone, one podcast every week for the whole year.
I don't do one podcast a week. I do three, four, or sometimes five, six podcasts in a week. Like it,
I'm
so
saying at least one. Yeah,
that's the point. Like, I get to know people. Even I did podcast with people who I knew for only 2 days. I was like, let's just get you. Let's just get to know you. And yeah, that's how it is going. I'm really passionate about this only one thing in my life, I would say. Not one, only
right.
one thing, but
You're
I
doing the most unique thing. Then in our whole batch, you can say in our whole bachelor's batch, I have not seen anyone doing a podcast.
yeah.
So you're being unique, and that's good.
But yeah, I mean it. I don't know. Let's see. It hope it grows and hope a lot of people gets to know about the podcast, and it might help a lot of future students who will plan to go abroad for masters, bachelors, or anything. So
Definitely.
yeah. So do you have a mentor? Did you make a mentor when you went?
So the funny story is about one of my professors, and he's my mentor for life. Like he has helped me out throughout, and during my time at the start, I was curious, and there was a special group that he made, and I was not part of it. So I got to know that there's a special group that exists, and I asked him that can I be the part of it, and he said yes. He said yes at start. I came to him and asked this question during lecture, and he said yes, and then he didn't reply to me.
Hmm.
Then again, next week, I went to him again and I said, can I be the part of it? He said yes, and he didn't reply. Then again, on the next week, I went to the class. I said, can I be the part of it? I was so I was so pushy about it, and eventually he said yes, and then he invited me to a certain group, and at that time we were not close as much, and he was not as mentor as me. Like he was not mentoring me or he was not doing anything, but we just professor and a student, just like that, with a group of students. And then I started one thing with my professor called weekly hit of hidden.
Okay.
So every Wednesday 7 a.m. in the morning he used to get my mail, what happened in the last week, what I did in the last week professionally. Like I networked with this guy. I went on volunteering this way. I worked in this field, blah blah blah. He used to get a short mail with 3 or 4 points that he can quickly read in 2 minutes because I know he's busy. And every week, 7 in the morning, he used to get a weekly hit of it. And eventually, after 1 year, like we got close, and we started drinking beer with each other as well. We started going to networking events together, and now like he's one of the best mates that I have. Plus, he helps me a lot. Like he's one of the greatest person I know of, and I respect him a lot.
I would say that you have redefined networking in a very new way. That do not go in a networking event thinking that you really have to network, that you really have to get to know the person. Just start a conversation, like a friendly conversation. Just casually, not so casually, also like professional slash casual conversations, and that will lead up to something. And then instead of professional network, they'll become a little bit better, good, like good bond in a network, and it'll
Yeah.
help you to further develop a career in that particular country or in a certain company or certain events. I think I really like how you said that just go there and think that you are here to make friends. I think that push is really important.
Obviously, because if someone asks me a question that what do I do,
Mhm.
I'll just say in that in one line, and I wouldn't like many question about what I am doing as a job and how my company is,
Mhm.
because that is the thing that you do in an interview.
True, true.
So
But
if you ask me more about my job and what I'm doing and what excites me the most, these interview questions, if you ask me that, like it would make me think about you that you are more transactional than like you are more transactional about your relationships.
Mhm.
You want something out of me.
Mhm.
And that's the red flag for me. Like it's a red flag for me that you are straight away coming to me just for the sake of getting something out of me. And once you get it, you won't even look at me.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I never thought of networking as like a friendly aspect that I can approach towards it. But I would definitely use this piece of advice that just go there not with the intent to know like network in general, just like with a friendly approach. I think even when we are friends, we are talking, we end up asking so many questions. What did you do? Why did you do? Where were you? How were you? With whom were you? I think it leads up to a conversation, obviously, and questioning is something that is not being nosy. It's just about to get to know the person better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing that can be an icebreaker is what is happening in the sports industry. So if you know that that person's favorite team is, suppose you can say RCB, and you can just have a conversation around it that, oh yeah, I watched the match as well. Virat Kohli hit a century, blah blah blah. And if that person's favorite player is Virat Kohli, then you hit a bond because you have something in common.
Yeah, that's very true. I think sports they unite people from different nations in a very strong way. Even if you are sitting and watching a match and you don't know the person sitting right beside you, and but still like you support the same team, even if you don't support the same team, but yeah, you enjoy the match together, and then they pass a comment, you pass a comment, and then even the conversation, that 1 2 minutes conversation also can lead up to something good. I think sports is a really good field to get people or get along with people, I would say.
Yeah, probably is. And yeah, there are two kinds of networking events, the one with the coffee and the one with the beer.
I would go with the beer.
No, like both of them are important. Coffee is something serious talks.
Right.
Coffee is something which wakes you up
Hmm.
and keeps your thinking straight, which means that anything you are doing, someone is listening very carefully.
Hmm.
So it's a serious conversation. It's kind of a transforming networking event. And when you're having conversations with beer, it's amazing. It's
More
amazing because
casual.
that person doesn't need to hear a serious conversation about how can we change sporting environment, but it should be fun and it should be something like a banter. Because me and my friends, whenever we meet over beer, we used to like, literally tease each other's teams. Like, so here, the Australian Football League, AFL, or you can say footy, is the most famous sports. So my favorite team is Collingwood, and other person's favorite team is Geelong Football Club. And I like we used to banter a lot that, oh, you guys are not going to win. So these kind of conversations make that thing friendly, and it made us, me and my friends and my connections, more closer.
Mm-hmm. I think
Rather than having a coffee and doing the serious talks, the serious talk should be one time a week. Beer should be two time a week.
nice way of justifying it.
Yeah.
But yes, are there any specific platforms or strategies that has helped you connect with people in the industry, or how did you connect with people in general? How did you meet people around?
I go around with LinkedIn a lot. I've used LinkedIn as the best platform ever in terms of networking. I just called, messaged someone that I want to meet, and if they wish to reply, they reply. If you don't, then skip.
Mhm.
Move on another person, because there's not even a single person in this world. But if someone is genuinely interested, they will let you know, and you'll meet that person. And second thing, offline networking events are genuinely good. Like, they are very underrated, but the online e-meets, I don't prefer it at all. If
Mhm.
someone is asking me to network during an like Google Meet or Zoom Meet, I don't prefer it. I genuinely want to have that conversation offline, because you can't fake yourself offline in front of someone, but you can definitely fake yourself online.
True.
Your gestures, your behavior, your everything gets out in the front. How
Mhm.
you behave with other people gets out in the front in a cafe. How you dress up gets out in the front. So everything, every behavioral aspect comes out. That's what matters to each and every person and each and every organization. How you behave,
Mhm.
rather than what skill you have. Skill is something that can be attained by someone, but behavioral aspects can't be attained by someone.
Yeah, it comes naturally, or how you have been brought up. So
Yeah, you can't change someone's behavior or a character. You can't change someone's character.
true, true. That's very true. That's like the spine of your characterization. So
So if I'm a hiring manager and I'm networking with you, I would definitely look out for your behavioral things rather than your skills.
Hmm. I did not know they do that, but okay.
They do that because they always go for a coffee catch up, because they need to know how you behave with the cup, how you eat, how fast you order, how you behave with the staff.
Mhm.
Because if you're not respecting them, then you're not eligible for the organization. Even they also see that you are keeping the cup back to the table, helping the other person.
Yeah,
You keep the table clean. This is the simplest thing that I see. But if someone is spilling the coffee and then not cleaning it, I think that's a red flag for me. If I was the hiring manager, I would never hire that person.
wow. And now it makes me think that okay, I think it's about time that I also have to show my OCD skills to people.
It's amazing, because it's the most human thing to do, and people just don't do it, and it shows their character. So yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It tells a lot about how you carry yourself rather than
Yeah.
you boarded. So yeah, it generally says a lot about you. So if you would have to give one piece of advice to students who want to study and work abroad, what would that be?
Network a lot, get to know people, have conversations with different kind of people. You'll gain knowledge about the industry and what is currently going on in the industry, and that person will get to know you as well. So that's a long term thing. It's a long term investment. It's not a short term that if you network with someone and next day they are going to hand you a job. That's not a networking thing.
So is it important to get yourself a mentor as well?
You don't find mentor. Mentors find you.
Oh, okay.
You don't get to choose who will be your mentor. Trust me.
True, that's true. So if you had to do it all over again, what's one thing you would do differently in your journey so far?
I will not change anything.
That's beautiful.
I would not change any single bit of it because that was part of my journey and I accept every single bit of it.
But okay, before wrapping up, any final thoughts or message you have for students who are thinking to take the big step of studying abroad or networking?
The advice would be is to take it slow. Like the Sandeep Maheshwari kind of people would say that, okay, go for it, blah, 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 blah. But eventually you end up crushing yourself too much.
Mm,
And, taking it slow paced and being patient about it and doing it consistently would make things much better for your mental health, plus would make better things for your life in general as well.
mm,
So don't crush yourself into taking decisions, or don't crush yourselves in networking that I have to do it every single day, I have to do it. Don't crush it like that. Take it slow. Start with one thing, like one times a week, and then like steadily increasing it further. Or if someone is trying to like move to a new country, definitely it's a good advice to come there. Eventually if you want to move back to India, it's your choice, but get to know what international people are doing and how they function. Here the life is more practical rather than more theoretical, so you'll get to learn more things. You'll be more grounded
mhm.
because in India we are privileged to have everything get done by the households and everything, and probably you don't respect much of that for those, like you don't have a much respect for those people who are working like that. Even your Swiggy driver or even your Uber driver, you don't have respect of each and every person. But once you do that job here to sustain yourself, you'll understand how much pain it is that they go through. So you'll be more grounded.
Very, very sensitive way of saying it, but yes, it teaches you a lot. Like all the day is like a battle, and then slowly, slowly, you just keep going, pushing yourself that, one more day I have to make it, one more day I have to make it. And then, yeah, you end up, breaking bits and pieces of you, and then a new structure forms in itself, and it's a much better version than the previous one. So, yeah, it comes with a lot of learning, a lot of sacrifices, and that's it.
That's it.
But yeah, where can people connect you? Over Instagram or LinkedIn?
I would prefer LinkedIn because Instagram is something social. Only my friends have access to it, but I would definitely go about like LinkedIn.
Okay. But yeah, thank you so much, Hitin, for taking out time. I know you are busy, and genuinely saying this, that I know that you're busy, and the time difference between Paris and Australia is not easy. It's a 10 hours difference, and then we finally made it. And yeah, I was really happy that you did the episode with me, and shared your point of views, your experiences. Any words of wisdom that you want to share?
I think you are doing a great thing, and it this podcast and this journey, if you like make it consistent and like do it every single week,
Mm.
trust me, it will grow and you'll get a sponsor. Touch wood.
Yeah, I did reach out to one or two people who are from France. Like they're a very small company, but
Yeah,
their target audience is international students. So they did not get back to me. So I really have to see if I get a sponsor. But yes, doing it
don't
consistently.
reach out to them. Sponsors would reach out to
Reach
you.
out to me. Okay. Yeah,
They will
I'm
reach out to you.
excited. I'm motivated.
Once you start growing, they will reach out to you upfront. Don't knock in the doors that don't open.
Oh, yeah, nobody told me that, but okay. But yes, thank you so much. But yeah, I think I literally forgot that when I started doing Instagram personally for my account, it was difficult to, develop the whole account. Now it has been so many years that I am in the platform Instagram and I have like thousand something followers. And even to build up the thousand something followers, it was sweat and blood. I would not put it generally in that way, but yeah, it's like you had to post, you have to interact, you have to reach out to people also on Instagram. And then I'm doing exactly for the podcast, and then I am understanding how difficult it is to develop an account, a platform from the scratch again, then making it go up to heights. I think it gradually happens, but yeah, I'm being consistent now. in
Yeah,
in between, I did not post anything about the podcast for 2 months, and then I settled down with Zoom call podcast episodes, and I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. And till now, with you, this is episode number 9. We have come so far.
yes, yes. Hopefully, it should be 909,009 lakhs.
Wow. till next year, yes, I am there.
Yes,
Reaching out to different students, to different countries, and let's see how well it does. Just hoping for the best.
definitely. Happy for you.
But thank you so much again for doing this. And if there's any, like the people who are watching, if you find this episode useful, or if you think that your friends or anybody you know can find this episode useful, please share it to them. And you know the drill. Do you want to say the drill? That's
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Subscribe to Amrita's channel,
Yes, it's
and
called curry meets croissant.
it's curry meets croissant.
Yes. I'll tell you the
Yes.
explanation later, but okay.
Yeah.
But yes, also like click on the bell icon. So every time I come up with new episodes, you'll get the notification. And till then, have a good day and bye.